Without a doubt, she was the queen of jazz, a quintessential and American icon. She was the best of her time and of her era. I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. March is International Women's Month, and here at Tyrone Bowman Tonight, for the rest of March, I will be highlighting and profiling and talking about several women that mean a lot to me personally. I started tonight with the one and only, the Queen of Jazz, Ella Fitzgerald. So this is part three and the conclusion of the Ella Fitzgerald story. So let's get right down to it. I talked to you in the last video about the illness and death of Ella Fitzgerald, and I'm not going to repeat that again. I'm just going to go right into her personal life and let's talk about some of the personal things that she had to endure and the sacrifices that she had to make. Fitzgerald married at least twice, and there is evidence that suggests that she may have married a third time. Her first marriage was in 1941 to Benny Cornegay, a convicted drug dealer and local dock worker. The marriage was annulled in 1942. Her second marriage was in December 1947 to the famous bass player Ray Brown, or bass player Ray Brown, whom she had met while on tour with Dizzy Gillespie's band a year earlier. Together they adopted a child born to Fitzgerald's half-sister Frances, whom they christened Ray Brown Jr. With Fitzgerald and Brown often busy touring and recording, the child was largely raised by his mother's aunt, Virginia. Fitzgerald and Brown divorced in 1953. Due to the various career pressures both were experiencing at the time, though they would continue to perform together. In July 1957, Reuters reported that Fitzgerald had secretly married the Einar Larsen, a young Norwegian, in Oslo. She had even gone as far as furnishing an apartment in Oslo, but the affair was quickly forgotten when Larsen was sentenced to 5 months hard labor in Sweden for stealing money from a young woman to whom he had previously been engaged. Fitzgerald was notoriously shy. Trumpet player Mario Bueza, who played behind Fitzgerald in the early years with Chick Webb, remembered that she didn't hang out much. When she got into the band, she was dedicated to her music. She was a lonely girl around New York, just kept to herself for the gig. When later in her career, the Society of Singers named and awarded after her, Fitzgerald explained, "I don't want to say the wrong thing, which I always do, but I think I do better when I sing." From 1949 to 1956, Fitzgerald resided in St. Albans, New York, an enclave of prosperous African Americans, where she counted among her neighbors Illinois Jacquet, Count Basie, Lena Horne, and other jazz luminaries. Fitzgerald was a civil rights activist using her talent to break racial barriers across the nation. She was awarded the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People Equal Justice Award and the American Black Achievement Award in 1949. Norman Granz recruited Fitzgerald for the Jazz at the Philharmonic Tour. The Jazz at the Philharmonic Tour which specifically targeted segregated venues. Grants required promoters to ensure that there was no colored or white seating. He ensured Fitzgerald was to receive equal pay and accommodations regardless of her sex and race. If the conditions were not met, shows were canceled. Bill Reed, author of Hot from Harlem, 12 African American Entertainers, referred to Fitzgerald as the Civil Rights Crusader, facing discrimination throughout her career. In 1954, on her way to one of her concerts in Australia, she was unable to board the Pan American flight due to racial discrimination. Although she faced several obstacles and racial barriers, she was recognized as a cultural ambassador, receiving the National Medal of Arts in 1987 and America's highest non-military honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In 1993, Fitzgerald established the Ella Fitzgerald Charitable Foundation, focusing on charitable grants. Wow. For 4 major categories: academic opportunities for children, music education, basic needs for the less fortunate, medical research revolving around diabetes, heart disease, and vision impairment. Her goals were to give back and provide opportunities for those at risk and less fortunate. In addition, She supported several nonprofit organizations like the American Heart Association, City of Hope, and the Retina Foundation. Fitzgerald won 13 Grammy Awards and received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1967. In 1958, Fitzgerald became the first African American woman to win at the inaugural show. Other major awards and honors she received during her career were the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts Medal of Honor Award, the National Medal of Art, First Society of Singers Lifetime Achievement Award named Ella in her honor, Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the Georgia and Ira Gershwin Award for Lifetime Musical Achievement. UCLA Spring Sing and the UCLA Medal in 1987 she received. Across town at the University of Southern California, she received the USC Magnum Opus Award, which hangs in the office of the Ella Fitzgerald Charitable Foundation. In 1986, she received an honorary doctorate of music from Yale University. In 1990, she received an honorary doctorate of music from Harvard University. Ella Fitzgerald, may you forever rest in peace. My Shiro. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender. Never